times we've been doing this for over a year? How many times have you said that you're complete with what you were trying to collect?
Yeah.
And how many times since then have you bought something else?
Yeah, the hunt never. Because for me, everyone knows I'm a big Hasbro nut, and I collect only specifically series 1 to 4. The series went from 1 to 11. I just collect series 1 to 4 because it's the most nostalgic for me. And I've gone from just collecting all of them mint on card to collecting a prototype from each series, to getting a green tag, standard tag from each series, to getting a proof card each series. Now I've decided I want to get a drawing from each series. So I'm almost at the end, and now I've just added more by adding the drawings to it. I'm just like, shit. The hashtag, the hunt never ends. So it's so true. We'll keep moving along. So, well, I guess a little bit more about yourself. So, you started off with the Super Friends. So where did it evolve to from there?
Well, it evolved to, I mentioned them very quickly. I drove by them. The Movie Maniacs figures from McFarlane I think they started in the late 90s. There was a comic book store here, still is, in Hobart, and they had figures of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Ash from Evil Dead, and I was like, what are these figures? Like, these have got the likenesses of the actors. It was totally unprecedented seeing something like that on the shelf. Like, you just did not get figures like that before they came out. That line was absolutely blew me away when I saw it on the shelf. So I'd be up on eBay trying to find, copies of that. Whenever I'd come over to Melbourne, I knew there were a couple of comic stores I could hit up that would have some of those on the shelf. So I had quite a good collection of those, that Movie Maniacs line. It was all, it was around Terminator and horror and those sorts of pop culture or cult movies, which I love so much, and which, the superhero stuff, which has become more popular, is not something that I'm into as much. I'm more about Terminator, Evil Dead, Indiana Jones, that sort of era of movies. So seeing those figures, that was where I went, wow, these figures are, the sculpting is amazing. They've got the likeness of the actors, which nobody did at the time. So that was a big step up in collecting for me. Then moving into 1/6 scale, like Hot Toy scale figures, was the next sort of graduation from those figures, which a lot of people made, I think. So that was Terminator stuff that I could get, Terminator in 1/6, and Commando, a couple of the Marvel ones. I mean, they ended up doing so many Iron Man figures and Batman figures in 1/6, and then I accidentally bought a quarter scale piece, which is what I've got around me here. Here's one here. Where is he? There's the quarter scale Dread.
Yeah, awesome.
From the more recent movie. I accidentally bought a quarter scale statue. I thought it was another one. I thought it was another 6 scale statue when I bought it, and then it arrived in this huge box with this courier. I was like, it was like, here you go, man. Like, here's your figure. I was like, what? No, this is not mine. I got it out, and it was way bigger, and I was like, whoa! They make things in quarter scale, and so then I started collecting quarter scale, and then I've ended up with like 5 life-size pieces as well, like busts of Vader and Superman and Batman. So it's been a graduation from like the little Kenner guys all the way up from 1/6 to quarter to now life-size. So
that's awesome.
That's where it's gone from. But it's been it's great fun. Great fun.
Yeah. And what about trading cards, mate? What have you collected in terms of trading cards? And I've got a bit of a question that I'll ask at the end for the gamblers out there. But first, answer what do you collect in terms of trading cards?
Well, I've always loved wrestling, of course, which is what part of the reason why I'm here, of course. So anything to do with that 80s heyday. I actually was looking through a pile of cards a month or so ago, and I found an AJ Styles auto in a pile of cards, which I had no idea I had. Unfortunately, it's got a ding on one of the corners. But and I was getting some out to have a picture of before I jumped on with you guys. So it's I've got Hogan in here, I've got Undertaker, I've got Mick Foley, Ric Flair, Greg the Hammer Valentine, DDP, Lex Luger. There's a nice $1 Million Man. So
very nice.
It's wrestling, and the rest of the collection is along the lines of the figures. So it's Arnold stuff, it's Rambo stuff, it's Rocky. Like I busted a pack of Rocky cards the other day, which
awesome. Drago.
Did you guys see that the Vince McMahon Transcendent card sold for 3,000 Australian dollars?
Wow.
Transcendent auto numbered of 5 total.
Wow.
It's pretty
sold
amazing.
In Australia?
Sorry?
Yeah, sold in Australia?
It was sold in the US as $2,200 US dollars, but it could have been bought by one of the Aussie collectors. Who knows?
Yeah, let's hope so. Do you know much about the who's taken over the new WWE license in cards?
So Panini's got the new license.
Panini. Sorry, yeah.
And
they take over. They take it over. It starts next year, so they'll start putting out. I think they're starting off with Prism WWE. It'll be the beginning of the year, so somewhere January, February, March. Yeah.
We've found mixed reviews about that, haven't we, Chris? Within our community, people either are excited about it or people loathe it. So
I think it's more the company that they're worried about, not the change.
Yeah,
I can understand it because it's sort of like it's like Topps with. It's not as bad as Topps with baseball. Topps and baseball cards that's been it. For 70 years. So to hear that Fanatics are taking over, there's a lot of attachment, with WWE and Topps as well. Topps have been doing it since the 80s, since this set.
Yeah. So 85 Topps.
It's been a long time. So losing all that equity, all of that history is unfortunate. I'm sure that collectors will end up liking what Panini have done, what Panini will do, I guess, when they take it over. But it's it doesn't make it easier if you've been invested in it since that era. I know UFC collectors, as UFC got taken by from Topps to Panini. I know that UFC collectors have enjoyed that transition as a whole. I think that there'd be some people who have some critiques, no doubt, but I think as a whole they're enjoying the transition to new sets. But it's been with Topps for a long time, so it'll be a tricky one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I look forward to seeing them in the flesh to see what they look like.
Mm.
You going to say something, Chris?
I wasn't. Well, I know you were going to ask before, James. I could tell you. I can read your mind that you were going to.
Oh, the gambling one. Yes.
What would you be buying? What would you be investing in if you were investing? That's what you were going to ask, wasn't it, James?
Yeah, I was. There's. Look, we've talked about basketball cards. We've talked about WWE cards, UFC cards, but I guess in terms of someone that's got a bit of money they've just received their tax check, they may have $4,000 to invest in. Where would you say to someone, invest your money because that will double, triple, or quadruple over the next 10 years?
And by the way, disclaimer for anyone who is listening or watching is we do not guarantee a return.
Yeah. This is not financial advice.
Yeah. Speak to your financial planner.
Yeah.
Look, it's a tricky one for me, but I don't know. Thinking about the transition of WWE to Panini, I'd be looking very closely at some of the first sets released by Panini for WWE. Not only because it's going to be debut, WWE Prism. I think they are planning, as well as Prism, they're going to do Chronicles, they're going to do Immaculate, and they might do Select as well, I think. So that'll be the 4 sets that come out next year. So it's going to be the debut for those brands in WWE. And, in 10, 15 years, somebody in that set is going to be the next, Dwayne Johnson, or he's going to be the next John Cena. And he's going to have his rookie card in WWE Prism. And if you've seen what The Rock's rookie card has done in the last year, if you've seen what Hogan rookie cards have done, Flair, they've gone progressively up in slab cards. So that would be I'd be looking to get a hold of a couple of boxes of WWE Prism wherever you buy your cards.
Well, Chris is my card dealer. Chris is my card dealer. So, Chris, when you pre-order, mate, grab me a box as well, and we'll put them aside.
I thought the reason that we got Charlie on was so he could hook us up with our cards.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to get somebody on the inside.
Well, I can't get anything hooked up. Everything is spoken for.
It's very difficult to buy stuff at the moment. Like everything is just so hot because there's a whole industry in itself of buying and then reselling.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've got the old reliable of eBay. You've got platforms like StockX coming up, where that's another platform where people can do that, which is sort of, I don't know. The StockX to me feels like a cleaner version of eBay. Like eBay is, some of the photos are shocking, or it's photos taken on somebody's bed. But StockX is sort of, everything is like standardized and all cleaned up. Like it's like a friendlier version, whereas eBay is like it's like the ghetto version.
There's nothing better on eBay than when somebody's taking a photo of a $3,000 figure or card, and then you can see their toes in the bottom of the picture.
Yeah. It's just on top of the couch, and it's got their gross toes in the bottom of the picture. Yeah.
Mate, we're gonna wrap it up shortly, guys. But I've got one quick question. If you can answer it very quickly, mate, it'd be great. This is a question from one of our members, from Troy Hendy. And I'm not sure if this is a tongue-in-cheek question, but here we go. What is the story with the binder that was left at Cherry Collectables?
Oh, which one? Is this the legendary Yu-Gi-Oh binder? I think this is the story that he's referring to. Yeah. There was an unfortunate sale of a collection. There was a binder that got left behind by the customer, and included into that sale, and then those cards were sold, and then we had to obviously compensate that customer when he came back in and said, "Oh, I left my binder here. It wasn't part of the deal." Oh
no!
So we ended up being able to fix him up, but it was not a good day that day. But
wow.
It worked out in the end. But that's probably what he's talking about. Yeah, you can ask Grayson about that one too. He knows more about that because it happened.
Maybe it was Troy.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Troy. Maybe it was Troy. Well, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, Charlie, to have you on the show today.